Welcome into the Oh Health Yeah podcast, brought to you by Healthy is Wellness. As you all know, our mission is to empower you to take control of your health and elicit a little bit of curiosity in your life when it comes to the world of wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you have loved ones or friends that you think would benefit from this, share it with them. Let's get this thing going. We are back with another edition of the Oh Health Yeah podcast. Today, we're going to be talking protein. And we're going to go through chicken, beef, protein shakes. So there's a new study that came out that looked at chicken and beef and the impact of those things on lipid panels and blood metrics. What I want to talk about today is when you're thinking protein, where are the best places to get it? And is it going to negatively impact my health? Zampy, thoughts? What do you think? Chicken, beef, protein shakes. What's the best way to get protein? What do you think? That doesn't negatively impact lipid levels.
God, I hate that I have to pull a Gus and say it depends.
Pull a Gus.
God, I'd have to say chicken all day long. It has the best macro. So for me, when you say best protein, I say quality. No, the order of priority is quality, calorie.
Ooh, okay.
So quantity for calorie, it's chicken.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. But there are super important things in beef, such as oh my gosh, it's only found in red meat.
12?
No, not B12. Not iron, which does have more iron.
Zinc?
No, starts with an S.
Selenium?
Yeah, selenium. Yeah, that's a really important nutrient, micronutrient that you need, and I don't think you get it from chicken. Might be wrong. Call me out if I am.
Well, it's funny that you say calorie is your number two because, like, kind of your pre-assumption is low calorie. So
Bang for your buck.
if somebody's in a bulk,
Exactly.
that's
That's why I'd say it's beef. It's totally beef. If you're trying to gain mass, well, not necessarily stuff. It's like, what do you mean by bulk though? Like, do you mean gain straight muscle mass? It's like, that's tough.
Yeah.
I really think it is a matter of convenience. If you can't eat, someone like you, for example, I know that you're open with me. You're approximately 200 pounds, which means if you're trying to gain muscle, you should probably eat between 160 and 220 grams protein a day.
Yeah.
That is a lot of effing chicken and beef. Sometimes to get to that goal, you have to have protein shakes. I mean, just to put it into perspective for you guys, 4 ounces or 100 grams of chicken, I would say, roughly, probably what, like 22 to 23 grams of protein?
Yeah, maybe a little more.
Maybe a little bit. It might be closer to 30. I think beef is a little bit lower because per ounce, chicken has the most, except for game. Game has more, I believe. But that to get to that level of, if you were just to eat chicken to get to your protein level, that would mean you'd have to eat like what, a pound and a half of chicken to get to 200 grams of protein.
Yeah.
That's a lot of chicken. Yeah. So I think it's really important that it's about where you're at. And like, for example, my mom's on hospice, and sometimes it's really hard for her to get the micro and macronutrients that she needs, like protein and different, excuse me, had to drink the bucha. Protein and different micronutrients like her greens and her vegetables. So we have protein shakes at home because sometimes it's just not feasible for her to get up and make food, or for us to get up and make food, because we can't be there for every single meal. So it's really about where you're at. I sound just like you.
Well, in my mind, like, I eat a lot of wild game, as you know.
Yeah.
We do a lot of elk, we do a lot of deer. We're blessed to be able to do that. So in my mind, the more minimally processed the meat is, that's what I'm gonna lean towards.
True.
But when I think, if somebody was asking this question, chicken, beef, or protein shakes, what should I do? In a perfect world, we would love for people to get their protein sources from single ingredient items. So like elk, deer, cow, like single ingredients. The protein shakes wouldn't be necessarily the go-to, but like you said, it's about convenience. So if I was to answer this in a realistic standpoint, I think with no prior knowledge, my answer would be variety, but also trusting your digestion too.
Yeah, some people can't digest.
If you can't digest beef, if it's inflammatory for you, your body's not absorbing it. If you can't digest protein, you get a cheap protein shake and it goes straight to you. It's probably not.
You know what? You know what? This is a really good opportunity for you to bust the myth.
Oh
Our
gosh.
entire lives, we have been told that you can only absorb 30 grams of protein per meal. That is not true.
Oh, it's a myth for sure.
Break it up for us.
So there's a study done recently, and it ties back to our ancestors, which I don't know if Zach loves when I say that, but they died recently that human beings can absorb upwards of 100 grams of protein in a single sitting. When you look back at the study that was done, I don't know how many years ago, that showed that you could only absorb 20 to 30 grams of protein per sitting, it was done by a company that actually made protein shakes. So they wanted you to believe that you could only absorb 20 to 30 grams, so you would buy a protein shake, and that's the only way for you to get your protein. That's not true. You can absorb upwards of 100 grams of protein in one sitting.
It's like the kale propaganda.
Which one's that?
Kale?
Yeah, what about
It's like big kale came in and was like, yeah, kale's great for you, but like nobody likes kale. I'm just kidding. There's plenty of people that like kale. I know people that like kale. I want to touch on something that you said, and this is going to be a bunny trail, so I'm sorry to the people that yell at me for going off on these. But I'm a man that is not afraid to admit when he's wrong. Okay? And once upon a time, Gus and I had an argument, a friendly argument, I think, about how one of the things that we say at Healthy is like we want to eat like our ancestors, and that is like hunt, pick, and gather. And I challenged him on that, and I was like, if we want to eat like our ancestors, when the median survival age, the life expectancy of our quote unquote ancestors was 45 years old, and it really challenged his brain a little bit. But I have to recant that statement because I've learned more since then. And I found out that actually our ancestors did live. It was a lower life expectancy. Right now, I think the life expectancy is like 72, 73 years old in the United States, right? Back then, it was probably, I want to say, like late 50s to early 60s. But the actual statistical life expectancy was 45 or 40 or 35. And that's only because of the rule of averages. Because in the 1900s, prior to the 1900s, there was so much infant mortality that it brought that average down.
medicine wasn't there?
It wasn't the medicine, it was gloves. Before, I can't remember what year. Here, I'll Google it. I can't remember what year, but in a certain year, they started to use gloves during childbirth. And that exponentially brought up mortality rate in children. Like the survivability rate in children.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if you have a bunch of 50-year-olds that are alive, but then you have a bunch of 1-year-olds that die, it significantly skews the chart.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
that's me recanting on that. Let me just look this up. You can talk for a minute.
Okay. Well, coming back to the protein side of things. So the reason that I brought this topic up, chicken, beef, or protein shakes, is due to the fact that there was a study that just came out that actually looked at beef and its impact on inflammation and lipid levels. This was something that Max Lugavere pushed out that I thought was extremely interesting. So what he's talking about in here, there was a new randomized controlled trial that was extremely interesting. Researchers compared daily beef intake, Zach got 6 to 7 ounces a day of beef, to poultry intake in adults with overweight or obesity and prediabetes. They found that beef performed just as well across every measured marker of metabolic health than chicken. Which I honestly, if somebody asked me chicken or beef, my brain would go chicken first, just because I think that's what we've all been ingrained to
Because
think.
calories. It's good
Chicken
calories.
serves you better.
The leaner.
But it said after 28 days, there were no significant differences in blood sugar control, insulin response, inflammation, or even blood lipids between the beef and the poultry group. In other words, contrary to popular belief, unprocessed beef did not worsen any marker tied to type 2 diabetes risk or even common markers linked to heart health. Studies like this continue to challenge the idea that lean, nutrient-dense red meats is inherently harmful and reinforce the notion that beef can absolutely fit into a healthy diet, particularly given its high-quality protein, iron, zinc, selenium, choline, creatine, taurine, and vitamin B12 content. So basically, in summation, what the study showed is that individuals, they ate the same amount of chicken and the same amount of beef, Their lipid levels stayed relatively the same. Their blood sugar levels stayed relatively the same. And I think modern medicine and just media would portray that red meat's going to cause your lipids to go out of whack and all these things, which a study like that goes to show you that it's not negatively impacting your lipids like people make it out to be. What do you got over there? Did you look it up?
Yeah, I did. So just to go on that. So they got 3 facts. Pre-antisepsis, the maternal mortality rate was 16 to 18%. 1 in every 6 mothers died of infection after delivery. When hand washing came in, it was in 1847, went down to less than 2%. Ignaz Semmelweis forced doctors to wash in a bleach solution. Deaths plummeted instantly. The glove and antisepsis era, early 1900s, like I said, down to 0.1%. Once sterile gloves and instruments became mandatory, hospital infection deaths were wiped out. The impact on infants, preventing neonatal sepsis. Doctors with dirty hands were passing the same deadly streptococcus and bacteria to the babies. Infants would develop systemic blood infections, such known as sepsis, or umbilical cord infections, which were almost 100% fatal back then. Clean gloves cut these cross-contamination deaths to almost zero. That's from Cambridge University. The survival of the mother in the 19th century. If a mother died of childbed fever days after delivery, the infant's chances of surviving the first year of life dropped by nearly 80% because of lack of nutrition, care, and basic safety. By saving the mothers, Cluss indirectly saved a generation of babies. In 1899, Dr. Joseph Bloodgood published a massive review of the patient outcomes. He tracked surgical and delivery cases and showed that simply introducing sterile rubber gloves caused patient infection rates to drop by nearly 100% overnight.
Crazy. So the lifespan argument was
Yeah, I was wrong. For sure.
a little skewed due
Yep.
to the infant. So eating, hunt, pick, gather, vibe can be extremely beneficial. But coming back to the protein thing that we were talking about, chicken, beef, protein shakes, what that study just showed is that beef does not negatively impact your lipid levels over the course of a month, like most people would think. And when we're thinking protein and what protein is best for you, like Zach said, quality, where's it coming from? If you can know where your protein comes from, that's a huge win. Whether that's local farmers, whether that's wild game, something that you harvested yourself, like you know exactly where that's coming from.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the best ways to do it. 2, quantity is extremely important. Our rule of thumb is, can you get 1 gram per pound of goal body weight? So if I'm shooting to be 200 grams in general per 200 pounds, I'm shooting for 200 grams of protein. And then the third thing that I really wanted everybody to think through is just digestion, trusting your body's digestion. If you feel poorly when you eat a certain type of protein, that might be your body being like, hey, dude, like probably shouldn't ingest that. But the real emphasis behind this episode, don't be afraid of beef. Don't be afraid of chicken. Don't be afraid of protein shakes. Know that all of those things can positively impact your protein numbers and your ability to gain muscle and maintain muscle mass. But just know that a variety might be best, honestly, when it comes to these things, if you digest all of them well. Anything else you got on protein intake?
You and I are going to beef.
About
I don't know.
protein?
We're talking about beef.
Beef?
Where's the beef?
I think protein is one of those things that's so talked about right now, especially with the rise of GLP-1s.
Oh my gosh. Protein everywhere.
I was on the radio,
Protein cough drops out there. I swear to God.
one radio last week, and he asked me on air, he's like, there's a nationwide shortage in whey protein. Why do you think that is?
Because it's in everything now.
Well, it's the GLP-1 epidemic.
That's true.
That's
That's a rough word.
Whatever we call it. GLP-1,
Sensation.
craze, GLP-1, emphasis,
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
rise.
Like-
But they're putting protein in everything.
Mhm.
Protein's coming off the shelves. So protein is one of those things where it could be your best friend, especially if you're on a GLP-1, if you're trying to maintain muscle mass. No matter what you're at when it comes to health and wellness, know that protein is going to help the body to rest and recover and maintain muscle mass. And don't be afraid of the beef. Don't be afraid of the chicken. Don't be afraid of the shakes. Just try to get something that's most minimally processed.
I do have something to add.
What do you got?
For the love of God, for the love of everything, if you are protein maxing, please eat fiber. I am a staunch advocate for fiber.
Zach's selling fiber supplements on the side.
It's gonna make you poop, but please prioritize fiber.
Yep.
It can be number 2 in priority. That's fine. But fiber is so important. And I think that the protein craze, not that it's not important, has overshadowed how important fiber is, especially in people like you and me. We're young men. And I don't know if you paid attention much because I know you don't have social media, but there is, and this is the time you use the word epidemic. There is an epidemic of colon cancer in young, healthy men. And that's because of a lack of fiber, because we're not pooping. We're not taking care of our colon. Eat fiber. Now, actionable item is fiber. Chia seeds in water, chia seeds in pudding, chia seeds in, yogurt. What are other fiber things, Gus?
There's a lot of different fibrous things.
I like the carb balanced tortillas. Easy way to get fiber.
Well, there's a lot of single ingredient items that have fiber too.
Beans.
Broccoli, those type of things. Carrot, raspberries, like
True.
fiber, which are yep, some vegetables.
But beans are good.
Beans are a good one. Yeah. Protein and fiber, if you play onto those two things, satiety is going to be high as well.
100%. It's going to make you feel so full.
Based off your goal.
So that's what I got.
Key takeaways from this episode: don't be afraid of different protein sources. Trust your body's ability to digest those things. Prioritize protein, prioritize fiber.
Please get fiber.
And as always, reach out to us if there's anything you want to hear from us. Leave us likes, ratings, reviews. We appreciate you all tuning in so much. We hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah.